Welcome back. You're still watching In the Game. I am Onyinyechi Obaro. You can catch up with more updates if you missed our top 5 stories. Follow like our social media platforms at News Central TV. We are streaming live right now on Twitter. So you may want to keep a tab with us to join in the conversation. Hashtag In the Game. Please engage the hashtag for you to join the conversation. All right, we will continue in the world of sports, going deeper. At this time, I've got joining me in the studio will be an ace journalist, one who is a commentator, an analyst for football matters and everything that concerns sport. I've got Raymond Nwaduba joining me. Thank you so much, Raymond, for being in the studio with me today.
So much, Onyinyechi. Yeah, it's good to be here.
It's great to have you. You know, I began the show by, trolling Arsenal. I want to do that today. I would love to do that today,
I don't want any trouble from Arsenal fans.
I'm ready for the trouble. They should come with the bags. I've told them, hashtag In the Game. They must join the conversation. But let's go deeper right now. I'll begin with handball. I know the Ardova Handball League began. It's already day 2. And we can say that Tojemarine Academy, they won the Battle of Lagos on Tuesday. They defeated city rival Lagos Seasider Boys on day 2 of that first phase of the Handball Premier League for 2024 in Benin City. In what turned out to be an incredible, interesting match, Tojemarine, they're tutored side by Coach Shittu Adewunmi Agboola. They defeated Seasiders 33-26 to continue that push for the first league title. In other matches in the men category, we did see safety shooters. They're leading the league table for the second straight day, following that comfortable 35-17 victory. All these on day 2 of the Handball Premier League. So interesting to see that these Lagos teams are dominating already, even before the last game of the day.
Yeah, that's why Lagos is the pesetas in sports, because if you talk about sports, Lagos is where they particularly pay attention to grassroots development, and the authorities are doing very well to ensure that sports, is given a whole lot of attention. And I think it's paying off, all the things they are putting into sports. I think it's paying off because even in the National Sports Festival, you could see how, if not for their state and their dominance, I think Lagos is also giving them a very good drum for their money. So Lagos, I tell you, they are doing well, but they can do better because of what they've got here in Lagos, the talents that are bound in Lagos. I think that Lagos should be in a position to do better.
All right, great to see that Lagos are dominating in the male and female category. In the female category, Raymond, the Seasider Boys of Lagos, they also continue their lead. They've gone 38-30 in that victory against Rivers Queens, while we got Rima Queens defeated former champions Plateau Peacocks at 22-20. Defending champions, Safety Babes, are still unbeaten. Oh, I really want to know what's behind this glory, Joining us in this conversation will be the media officer of the Nigeria Handball Federation, that's Cosmos Chukwuemeka. Thank you so much, Cosmos, for joining us via Zoom. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Oye. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, of course. You can see that Raymond is already giving you your flowers, saying that the edition of this Ardova Handball Premier League is already bringing firecrackers, with Lagos teams already dominating the play on day 2. But let's talk about Tojemarine Academy. Their recent victory over Lagos Seasiders Boys was quite impressive, I must say. Can you share what strategies, preparation they had to go through in order to lead at 33-26 in that win?
Well, I do not know what you will call the derby when it comes to handball. If it was probably played in Liverpool, you could say maybe Liverpool and Everton. By the way, Liverpool and Everton have handball teams, by the way. You call them the Merseyside derby. But this derby is huge in the sense that Tojemarine Academy has some of the best, if not the best, young handball players in the country. And, last season, I think it was on the last day that they finished second. They actually fought against Niger United to ensure that they got to the last day of the league to get to second. So I don't know what you would call it, but if you're talking about strategy, Coach Adewunmi Agboola Shittu who also is the coach of the Nigeria under-18 handball team that dominated the IHF under-18 trophy, intercontinental-wise, and of course came second in the whole of Africa, and also qualified for the World Cup for the first time, has been with this team for about 2 seasons, and he has ensured that he instills his discipline in this team. Alongside with his assistant coach, they have been able to have the best of preparation. They are well-funded. They understand. I think they're the most complete, at least to that ramification, handball club in Nigeria that is being run professionally. I am talking about the administration of the handball club, and they have been there. They have been trying as much as possible to ensure that they compete, and they have been competing. This should be their 4th season in the Ardova Handball Premier League, and trust me, this season they are saying that we are going to go to ensure we win the title. Let's see how that goes. Against Seasider Boys of Lagos, it was tough. It's a derby. Whether the derby was played in Lagos or in Benin this time around is a huge derby, and they ensure that they won. And in the past 2 seasons, Tojemarine has been tough. In fact, this year alone, they have played severally. They are in Lagos together. They play friendly matches together, and Tojemarine has won about 70% of those matches. So trust me, when you have this team, is a team to look out for in the Ardova Handball Premier League.
Okay, let's talk about the women's category. I see Seasider Babes. They have maintained that lead with a strong victory over Rivers Queens. What stand-up performance or tactics contributed to this win? Because you can see that they are positioning themselves to be ahead of the rest of the teams in this season.
Okay, so when you talk about that one, yes, they maintained their lead, but Safety Babes, because Safety Babes scored, I think Safety Babes scored 3 more goals. So Safety Babes has 3 more goals advantage than them. So Seasider had to drop to 2nd, but still with the same 6 points after match day 2. And Seasider Babes, with the way they started, they are one of the teams that usually finish mid-table and all that. But with the way they started with their coach, I'm talking about Coach Bukola, they have been able to ensure that they do well, and they have been winning. They have been winning very well. They have been winning very, very importantly. They've had good preparation as well. I understand that the Lagos State Handball Association, who is their proprietor, has giving them the best of preparation as well. So you're looking at Seasider Babes, but then there are older teams as well that are doing well. Now, on your screen, okay, this is Seasider Babes on your screen, but in this game, you will see Safety Babes. Safety Babes are the team that have not lost any game since 2022. Safety Babes are still leading the table at the moment. In the male and in the female category, they are the only team. Okay, they were the 2nd team to actually go unbeaten in a season. The first was Adorable Angels in the 2020 season. Adorable Angels of Ilorin were the first team, male and female, to go unbeaten in a season. Same with Safety Babes. Safety Babes now have gone unbeaten, and this time around they are still unbeaten. In fact, the match that they lost was the match that they lost in 2022. They had already won the league, and it was the last match of the season, and they could have gone unbeaten as well, but somewhat they lost that game. So this time around, they are doing that. So it's actually very interesting. In fact, I think I should give you this exclusive. I'm saying it here for the first time. Results coming out from Benin, I've seen the women really, really, push themselves. Now, there was a game today. You would, in your story, you talked about Igbo Grasshoppers, who also on Igbo Grasshoppers won their first 2 match days. The Igbo Grasshoppers then played against Rivers Queens. Now, in the first half, Igbo Grasshoppers were leading Rivers Queens, and you would think, oh, it's going to be a whitewash. But in the second half, River Queens came back and defeated, just 1 hour ago, defeated Imo Grasshoppers by 33-29. That is about 4 goals. So that shows you how important the league is and how the women are revolutionizing the Ardova Handball Premier League.
Of course, that's what we do. That's what we know how to do. Women teams on the Nigerian scene are always very, very powerful. But because of time, Cosmos. I beg your pardon, because of time. If it's going to go down the wire, what teams, what 4 teams do you think will, battle for the title from the male and the female category?
Well, it's too early to say because it's too early to say. Really, really early to say. I mean, we still, all the teams will play about 25 matches. About 25 to 26 matches, and this is just match day 3. They're going to play about 12 matches each in this phase. Then come back to Lagos to play about 13 matches each in the second phase in Lagos. So it's really hard to say. But then my money, if you ask me, I can mention some of the teams. Safety Babes might keep their title again with the way they are playing. But then with the way Seasider Babes is playing, and with the way Defender Babes that came second are playing as well, then you will say that, okay, maybe they would have to run down the wire for that one. In the male category, Tojemarine Academy there, Niger United there. Kano Pillars should have been in the conversation, but Kano Pillars, with what happened to them last season when they finished for the first time out of podium on the league, in the history of the league, I doubt if Kano Pillars will be able to do anything. But then this is just match day 3. So let's just wait till later in the year in Lagos, and we'll now see what will happen.
Okay, knowing that at this time that handball cannot be decided like football or even basketball. Thank you so much, media officer of.
I mean, even in football, of course, sometimes you have the permutations are there.
Yes.
So it's the same thing with handball. So
yes.
Yeah, let's just see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. Thank you so much, Cosmos Chukwuemeka, for joining us on In the Game today and also giving us that exclusive, a comeback from Imo. Of course, Grasshoppers, great for them over there. Thank you so much, Cosmos, for joining us on the show. Raymond, still in the studio. Of course, you've seen that we are expecting fireworks from the handball competition ongoing in Benin City. But I'm a bit concerned about the venue at which this competition is being played in Benin City. I was thinking, he did say that they would have to come back to Lagos to play. Do you think this is healthy enough for the players, to have a round-robin format like that in 2 different cities?
Yeah, I think it's very good because, of course, it will also help in the area of publicizing the game the more and giving other cities the opportunity to also feel it. Particularly Nigeria is a football-dominant country. So with what handball is doing now, it's good that they're taking it from one city to another. I think that will awaken, the love and passion for handball. I think it's a great thing, and it will also be good for the brand and also for sponsorship and all of that. So I think it's not a bad idea at all. So.
Okay. What better way to publicize handball than moving from different cities in Nigeria? Let's go to table tennis. Raymond, at this time, Aruna Quadri and Dina Metchraf, they reclaimed that ITTF Africa Cup title after winning the 2024 edition at the BK Arena. So, Aruna, the top seed still fresh from the exploits at the WTT Saudi Smash, was again unstoppable. Oh, Aruna cannot be stopped. After 3 consecutive losses at the finals, the Nigerian got the crown back for the first time since 2017. And we are celebrating here in Lagos, in Nigeria, saying for a very long time, Aruna has not been able to put his fingers on the trophy, but he was able to do that in Kigali, Raymond.
I say Aruna is just an enigma because if you look at the performance of that man, he just keep, getting better and better. Come to think of it, he's the first African to be ranked in the top 10 in table tennis. And of course, in 2014, that is a real 2014, 2016, I suppose, he got to the quarterfinal. So I think he's just waxing stronger and stronger. And this is, cheering and good news for all Nigerians because he's tried to do it over and over, but, after so many tries, he failed. But I think this time around, he was able to, to make it. And that is very good for Nigeria, very good for Nigeria table tennis. And also a very good one for Aruna Quadri, who has been working very hard to see he achieves that.
But this Aruna Quadri's prowess, does it show how fantastic he is, or we do not have enough, talent to surpass his exploits in the world of table tennis, because it's always Aruna. If not Aruna today, it will be Aruna tomorrow. And we did see Olajide Omotayo in the semi-final, but he could not go far. Aruna finally had his hands on the trophy. Does this just show how fantastic he is, or we're just, short on talent?
You have just said it. It's just been there. It's been Haruna. When you talk about table tennis in Nigeria, the name you always have in your lip is Haruna Quadri, because he's been there, he's been doing it, consistently. Or, in the international stage, it's usually, very difficult, particularly with the Chinese, without any sense of, remorse, as it were here. I think the Chinese are very, very good when it comes to table tennis, because there are games that countries are very good with.
How do we get to the level of where the Chinese are? Because I know they've got a lot of investment, but what day are we going to be at par with them?
Well, it has to do with, one, facilities. Then secondly, you have to start from a very young age. It's just like football. The whites, they start from age 4 and all of that and begin to teach their kids how to play football. So same thing with table tennis. There are just some sports that if you don't start early enough and they put you on the kind of diet that will ensure that you're always good and fit enough to do that, you might not just be able to match the whites. Talk about other sports like swimming. Every country has their own comparative advantage. I think Nigeria is good at, in table tennis, but for us to get to the level of the Chinese, we just have to, do more in terms of facilities and in terms of starting early enough. But kudos to Aruna Quadri.
All right, you know that table tennis is one sport that doesn't care about the athlete's age. So, Raymond, you can be one of them. You can join up in the Nigerian.
Not now. Perhaps if I've started early enough.
All right, the president of the African Table Tennis Federation and the Rwanda Table Tennis Federation commended the players for their professionalism and sportsmanship. Let's listen to both presidents, and when we come back, we will go on a short break.
First time to organize such a big event, either for the African continent or for international level. We are looking since a long time ago to come here to Rwanda, and finally last year Rwanda became with a very good file to host the African Cup, and it was the most efficient file for hosting this event. We, in the annual general meeting, gave the chance to Rwanda to host this event, even it is one of the very big events in Africa, because we trust that they are working on the right track to make a very professional event like we see here this year.
We are very glad to be hosting this competition for the first time in our country. The significance of us hosting this is obviously first of all, it's a very big event. It's the biggest and most prestigious continental table tennis event. But also it's significant for us as a country, because this is part of our country's development strategy to boost the economy through sports tourism.
John Burungi, the president of the Rwandan Table Tennis Federation. Now, of course, we have the African Cup already done and dusted. So the gates open for Olympic qualification for Paris 2024. Remember, this competition will still go on till the 18th of May. So, Raymond, as it is right now, we see some Nigerian athletes, table tennis players in top speed. The likes of Aruna Quadri, who picked gold in that men's singles. We had another Nigerian, Olajide Omotayo, picking bronze in the men's singles. The women's singles did not leave out any Nigerian, as Edem Offiong picked bronze. So when it comes to table tennis, we have Egypt, Nigeria, and others, because at every finals, we always have a Nigerian or an Egyptian over there in the finals. But this time, 3 Nigerians were dominant, and we're hoping that they can punch their weight, punch their ticket for the Olympics, the Paris 2024. Who will you be tipping to get the first ticket?
Of course, it should be Nigeria. I'm happy that the Nigerians are, pulling their weights again, because for some time we lost it to Egypt. Egypt was always, taking the shine off Nigeria. But I'm happy that Nigerians are back. And with the way they are going, I expect that Nigeria should be able to.
You know, the Nigerians also made a tweak in their technical bench. They had a veteran, one who has been there, done that, been to a lot of Olympics. Nobody has been able to beat that number. Segun Toriola, he is the coach right now of the Nigerian table tennis team. How so industrious is that initiative from the Nigerian Table Tennis Federation?
That's the proper thing to do. You can't expect anything more, because for somebody who has played table tennis to that level, he knows all the ins and outs. He knows the secret of success. So he should be able to pass it to the young lads. So, and I think it's the tonic that Nigeria needs at this point, because you can't take away that urge or ability to have done it at that level. Somebody who is just a coach and never played tennis to that level may not exactly know how it feels to play at that level. So with Toriola there, I think is the best thing to happen to Nigerian table tennis.
Do you know what they say about old wine? They get sweeter. Fine by the day. All right, there we can talk about Segun Toriola. That break must come right now. We're going on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go into the world of football. Welcome back. You're still watching In the Game. I am Onyinyechi Obara. Still got Raymond Nwadoba joining me in the studio here. So it's been an interesting conversation so far. Raymond, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still very much here.
All right, let's talk about football. You long waited for the word of football. The Waffle B Zone competition, the under-17 competition, will get down today with the host nation having their opener. Of course, for the Nigerian team, the defending champions, the Confederation of African Football on Tuesday declared that all 20 players presented by the Nigerian team for the Waffle B under-17 championship in Accra, Ghana, passed their examination for the MRI scan test. So that declaration of eligibility for all the 20 players is a testimony that the tests conducted on the players by the Nigerian Football Federation before the team's departure were perfect. Raymond, we've not seen this before, heard this before, that all players will not fail that MRI test. But I think the Nigerian Football Federation have been intentional about the under-17 players from the Nigerian scene.
Yeah, definitely. That's what they needed to do, because CAF is very, very,
particular.
harsh and particular about that. Because if a team, fails, 3 of the players or 4, fails the MR, that team will be banned.
We heard the news that most of the players, like 18 of them, failed the test, at the Go Project field where they were training.
Well, the news came out, but Manu came to say that there was nothing like that. And I want to believe him because, of course, he is the coach in charge. If he says there was nothing like that, so we want to say that those are just the grapevines. But, in every lead, there must be some element of truth. Yeah. So,
I'm grateful that he's been able to come there to squash that news. But another interesting thing is that 20 of them passed the MRI scan. Great for them. And they got that clearance from the Confederation of African Football. They had to begin their game tomorrow, Thursday. But we'll have an opener today between the host nation, that's Ghana, and Cote d'Ivoire. So what do you anticipate ahead of this opener between Ghana on the 17th side and Cote d'Ivoire?
When it comes to age grade tournament, I think the Ghanaians, in African football generally, they are good, and I expect that Ghana should be able, with the fact that they're also at home, they should be able to, win, that first match. Because in tournaments like this, your first game is very, very important. If you don't win your first game, then you would have put yourself under immense pressure. So I expect that Ghana should be able to have one against their opponents.
Let's hope that the host nation will do their country proud. Now, still talking about national teams, the Super Eagles of Nigeria may be wary. Yes, of course. But what you can see on the screen right now is the run from the Golden Eaglets so far at the Waffle B competition. Yes, since 1995, where they finished second as runners-up. After getting 4 wins, no draws, but 1 loss. They finished as runners-up over there. But 2019, they finished in 4th place. And after that, in 2023, they came back, of course, and bigger, better going all the way to the quarterfinals of the competition. So at this time, we can say that our under-17 side have been very, very, very wonderful and illustrious when it comes to their records on the African scene, Raymond.
Yeah, of course. Even in the world, Nigeria is the best team in the world. We've won 5 titles, and that's not a very easy feat to
Nigeria
achieve.
for the under-17, you would say?
Yeah, at the under-17 level. Yeah, precisely.
All right, congratulations to them. I'm hoping that when they begin on Thursday for their opener, they come with the firecrackers. The return of Manu Garba should make a huge difference for the under-17 side. All right, moving away from that, the Super Eagles of Nigeria has got one task. That's please qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup or nothing. Bafana will be their next opponent to, introduce Finidi George as the head coach of the side, get to coach his first team against Bafana for that 2026 World Cup qualifier. Now, at this time, Hugo Bruce has named his 36-man preliminary squad for next month's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Nigeria and Zimbabwe. The South Africa senior men's national team will face Nigeria away from home in Uyo on Friday, June 7, 2024. And you may want to keep a tab with us because we'll be there live in Uyo to bring you updates, bring you all the hot details there. For Bafana, they'll return to the Bloemfontein for the first time since 2010 FIFA World Cup. They last played in that city when they beat France 2-1 in the global FIFA tournament 14 years ago. So they'll be hoping that they can punch their ticket to the 2026 World Cup after they have faced off with Nigeria and Zimbabwe. Now, looking at the squad, Raymond, the squad that went to the African Cup of Nations for Coach Hugo Bruce will remain with the team. He had the return of the likes of Mokoena. We can see Mokoena. This is a preliminary squad, of course. It will still be pruned down to 20 or 23 players before the encounter against Nigeria. Temba Zwane returns. You can see him over there. We have the likes of Evidence Makopa, who scored that beautiful goal at the African Cup of Nations. Pesital is somewhere over there. Roman Williams for the goalkeepers list. A new goalkeeper has been called in. We have Veli Mathua and Ricardo Goss. Looking at this squad, do you think Finidi George should get his acts together right now to dot his I's and cross the T's?
What a way to announce Finidi George. I tell you, it's not going to be easy. I expect, the team I'm seeing from the South Africans, because if you know, most of those players play in the same team, and that is the Sundown of South Africa. So it's a unit. If you see the way they played Nigeria at the AFCON, we won that game. Yes, obviously we won that game, but we weren't the better side. That's the truth. If you look at the statistics. And
they will be coming back as wounded lions, They've got points to prove. If
you look at the statistics, entirely home-based team, but yet they were able to, hold our professional players, and yes, they give them a run for their money, and even outplayed them in that finals, Nations Cup finals. So I expect that Finidi should know that it's not going to be an easy encounter. So he should just sit down and begin to think how he's going to, win that game, because it's a must-win for Nigeria. The 2 games that Nigeria had at the moment, that is the game against the Bafana and that against the Squirrels of Benin Republic, is a must-win if Nigeria must bring their World Cup campaign back on track.
All right, we'll be hoping that Finidi can do that, announce himself with 2 wins from that 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Let's go to the domestic scene. The Nigeria Premier Football League, Rivers United. I call them again, Raymond. It's another outstanding game for Rivers United. They've been unbeaten since 2018 by Adamawa Warriors, of course, because they will face up with Adamawa Warriors today. But this time, they will hope to pick their first 3 points in the Nigeria Premier Football League in the 2023-2024 season in the outstanding games. But I'm wondering, the league was halted for a month so that Rivers United will, fulfill their fixtures. Rivers United came up with a memo, having to threaten the league organizers that they want to pull out of the league. But do you know that after playing almost 5 games, Rivers United only picked one point. 1 point. And also with the news of the sacking of their coach, Stanley Eguma, who has been a long-standing coach in the Nigeria Premier Football League. They've got their assistant and interim coach, Ogayi, of course, at the stands right now. What do you say about Rivers United going into this Adamawa Warriors game? Are we going to see 3 points? Can they pick their first 3 points out of their outstanding games?
That's going to be a very hard call to make. But if you look at the trajectory so far, you find out that they've been very poor travelers. You know, I expected that, you know, with the pausing of the league to allow them play their outstanding games, they will be fresher. Because that's the essence. They were in the continent, and the league organizers felt that it was, you know, important to allow them concentrate, you know, in the continent, because Nigeria has not been doing too well in the continent, and to have a Nigerian team in that, you know, continent, we needed to give them all the support, and that was exactly what they did. And when they returned now, they paused the league for them so that everybody can be at the same page, you know, on the same page, you know, when they finish their outstanding games. And it's very, very important that they did that to avoid any form of match fixing.
Okay, but do you think that the ousting of their coach is playing a factor here? I know that he was not allowed into that encounter against Kwara United because he was given the ultimatum in that game against Remo Stars, where Remo defeated Rivers United 2-1. So do you think the ousting of the coach would deprive them of picking that 3 points they need today?
I don't actually think so, because I think it's been long coming. It's been
do you think Ogayi is, you know, okay enough to take Rivers United to that 3 points?
Not really.
They
you know that
desire?
football is all about hiring and firing. And of course, if you're not getting results, it doesn't matter how many years you've been there. Once the results are not coming, you expect that you'll be fired. And that's exactly what happened to Stanley Eguma.
Okay.
So, but he's done his bit, and I think he should allow other persons to also, you know, give in their best.
All right, let's see the Nigeria Premier Football League standings is showing over there. We don't know for sure that Rangers sit atop the table from the top 6. We've got Rangers, Remo Stars, Aimba, who had to say farewell to Finidi George and have coach Olanrewaju Yemi as the standing coach until the remainder of the season, of course. Shooting Stars season 4, Lobby Stars 5, Plateau United at 6. Raymond, are you expecting any jump here? Any surprise team going away from their current position?
Yeah, if there's going to be any upset, which I expect that there should be, I think Remo Stars is a team to watch. Watch out for Remo Stars. I expect that they are going
They've only got 3. They're trailing at 3 goal difference against Rangers. And you can see 1 point. So really, I think I will be with you on this. Remo can cause an upset here.
Yeah. I expect that's the upset I'm expecting. And, you know, they still have about 4 games to go. So that shows that, you know, something can still happen. But let's see how it pans out at the end of the day.
Let's see how it pans out at the end of the day. The bottom 6 still remains the likes of Heartland, Gombe United, Akwa United, Doma United, Sunshine Stars and Bayelsa United. Raymond, I'm a bit surprised that Akwa United are sitting at the relegation zone at this time. These were once champions of the Nigeria Premier Football League.
Yeah, that's how difficult the Nigerian Premier League can be. And you know,
anything can happen.
I'm so excited with what, you know, is happening in the Nigerian Premier League at the moment. And that is the fact that teams can now go away and win matches. You know, when we have champions that we can beat our chest and say that these are true champions of the Nigerian League. Because in the past, teams win at all cost at home. But it's no longer the case. If you play good, you win. But if you don't do well, you might lose to the opponent. So that's how it should be. And that's how a league should be run, because if you expect the unexpected in league, then sponsors can come in, then confidence can be gained in the league. And I think that's exactly what is happening in the Nigerian Premier League at the moment. And that's why you have the likes of GTI, you know, and even the league board with Honorable Benga Legbere, with all what they are doing to ensure that they reposition the Nigerian League. I think it's paying off. It's paying off.
And I think that it is garnering the eyeballs they need. A lot of European journalists are already talking about the firecrackers in the Nigeria Premier Football League and how it is going to the wire for the final fixtures to crown the champions of the season. But let's move away from that. Let's take you to the English Premier League. I long waited for the English Premier League, Raymond. You did see Manchester City yesterday against Tottenham Hotspur. Mesut Ozil did say if Tottenham Hotspur can get the job done against City, I will stop trolling them. I will not troll them again. But Spurs will always be Spurs, even without Harry Kane. But looking at this encounter here, Erling Haaland was just the key man for the day. He put Manchester City within touchline distance of the unprecedented fourth successive Premier League title. They beat Tottenham 2-0 away on Tuesday. But it seemed that every single Tottenham fan wanted this game to be a loss for Tottenham Hotspur, just not to be in Arsenal's favour. Raymond, what do you think about that VAR error? Of course, so that's catastrophic mistake by the video assistant referee in the Manchester City's first goal against Tottenham. De Bruyne, the player that assisted Haaland, was in an offside position in the build-up. Do you think this mistake might cost Arsenal the possibility of winning the league?
It's quite unfortunate. Yeah, in as much as it's unfortunate, I also want to, the Nigerian football scene to also draw something, from this.
Okay.
Because you see, even in the English Premier League, there are errors. So when it happens, once in a while in the Nigerian Premier League, we don't expect that it should happen. But if it happens, that goes to show that these are humans. We shouldn't, feel that it shouldn't happen. It's only God that is infallible. And I think if it happens, we should just accept it in good faith.
So I need to know what club you support. Because you want everyone to accept that in good faith. But that could have, would be one thing that would cost Arsenal the title this season. Just one VAR mistake.
I expect, this conversation, as far as I'm concerned, is long-ended. The moment City got their noses in front, I know it's déjà vu. Look, City has been here before, and they know how to navigate their way when it comes to this.
But Tottenham Hotspur has been a good side at home against City. I have a record of 4 games that they have played. They have been dominant against Manchester City before. I really do not know what happened, in that game.
They have always been, but with the City that you have at the moment, who are wounded lions out of the Champions League, and they just have the league title.
Are City too desperate to leave this title?
Yeah, very much desperate. So I expect that anybody that comes their way, they are going to blow that person away. It's not, with what you just said now, Tottenham has been a very good side this season. And, that's how, it showed in the game, because Tottenham, you see, they gave a very good, fight. But City has the class, they have the quality, and they know how to get victory.
Heung-min Son could not just get the job done. One-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he could not think on his toes. But let me tell you, Raymond, the final day is going to be tense. I know for sure. This is how the title might play. I know that Manchester City will welcome West Ham in that top spot. Arsenal will host Everton, needing a win as well as a favour from West Ham. Pep Guardiola, when he was speaking, he says that clubs that have been spending so much are not yet there because they are not like Manchester City that want to go for the title. Do you think that's true? Because the way it's going to go down the wire. It's going to be tense. West Ham can just do Arsenal the favour.
That's a mind game that Pep is playing, because, West Ham, yes, of course, they have the players, but the quality can't be said to be that of City. I tell you what, City is going to respond. Each time Arsenal wins, in the last 6 games, when Arsenal plays before City, I always tell people, just watch out for City, they are going to respond. If Arsenal wins by 3-0, expect that City will win by 4-0. That's how champions respond. So don't take it away from City. They have a very cracked team, one of the best, teams in the world. And, it shows for a team to have won the EPL 3 times, in a row, and now on the verge of winning for the 4th time. Yeah, that team is not an easy team. So, it's not,
all right. Well, let's talk about one team that do not care if they're in the first 3 position in the Premier League standing. Aston Villa. The man who says, good evening. He has punched a Champions League football ticket for Aston Villa for next season. They will be at the Champions League for the first time in 41 years next season. Now, this is a team that were on the verge of relegation, but the magical hands of Unai Emery, we could see the dividend over there. Now they'll be in the Champions League next season. He heard that news in a dinner, of course, with Aston Villa there. Qualified for the Champions League. What do you say about this run? Arsenal would have had this coach, but they were not patient.
Yeah, I think Unai Emery has done very, very well for themselves, for himself and for the team. Because if you look at the way Aston Villa played this season, you will see the touch of coaching in their play. It's not a team that spends so much, so it's an average team. But for them to have been able to go this far, if not for some inconsistency here and there, due to injury and the fact that they are not high spenders, so they don't have enough depth like City and some of these top spenders like Arsenal, I think they would have even contested for the title.
Okay,
but
let's see.
If they can build on that, they have a chance.
Let's see what's going to happen today. We've got Chelsea and Manchester United on parade today. They will be going up against big teams like Brighton and Newcastle United. Of course, I call them big teams. But Raymond, what do you think is more desperate here, Manchester United or Chelsea?
If you ask me, I think United should be the more desperate team. From the way things are going, I expect that they may sack their coach pretty soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because whether you like it or not, I still believe that United side can still do better than they are doing at the moment. Well, I think he's lost it. He's lost the dressing room. The players are not responding properly. People will give excuses with they have a lot of injuries and all of that. There's no team in the world that doesn't have injuries.
Does this give credence to Cristiano Ronaldo's interview with Piers Morgan?
Perfectly well. I think Ronaldo, helped them in that interview. He opened their eyes to a lot of things that have been going wrong in the team. And it's speaking volume. Yeah, it's speaking volume with, the performance and very shambolic. They've been very, very shambolic in the couple of games they've played so far. And if you look at the players, I think those players, they're not good enough. They are just not good enough. The quality is not there.
I'm very sure my producer will be critting right now hearing you say that.
That's the truth. Because if you look at teams, if you look at sides like Real Madrid this season, Ancelotti have a particular time in the league where he hadn't any of his back four. First team back four, other players were brought in as makeshift to play in the central defense. And he was able to manage the team properly, and he's won the league, he's in the finals of the Champions League. So, that's how it should go.
Mr. Raymond, the way you talk so emotionally, I'm very sure you're a Manchester United fan. Just don't worry, I've been able to catch that already.
Funny enough.
The mood swing, I could smell it,
No, I'm
Thank
not.
you so much.
I support Real Madrid, for real.
All right, maybe your English team is Manchester United. Thank you so much.
I just stick with one team. I've been supporting Madrid for almost forever.
Okay. All right, we'll be hoping to see that Madrid can punch your way to lifting the title of the UEFA Champions League. Thank you, Mr. Raymond, for joining us on the show today. We have been speaking to ace journalists on the show. I am Onyinyechi Obaro. Remember to join us tomorrow for In the Game to catch up with sporting updates across Africa and on the Nigerian scene. Do have a lovely day.